Welcome back to Mystic Moon Tarot, and I am Mystic Moon Clover. And today I kind of wanted to do something a little different instead of doing tarot, because today my kids are out of school due to the hurricane we had here, because I'm in Louisiana. So they'll be back tomorrow, and then tomorrow I'll start posting more tarot videos. It's just that I won't have as long a time to sit down and do a tarot video. My kids will be in and out this room if they could, so I'm gonna try to do a quick spiritual conversation, because I did have a bit of an epiphany. Let me adjust my camera. Really, I watched a couple videos, from some of my favorite YouTubers that I like to watch, and really been thinking and contemplating on everything that's going on in 2020 with myself and with the world and with the country and everything like that, and how if you've been caught up in like the truther world and kind of like the spiritual world at the same time, there's a clear divide right now. And right now, I kind of feel the energy to move away from the truther community, because I feel like it's not meshing well with the spiritual side of things of what's going on. It's very contradictory to claim you're spiritual and then be caught up in the things that's going on politically. And trust me, I was a part of that contradiction. Before, Donald Trump and this whole situation, as a truther, we all knew the whole entire system was rigged. There's no point in voting. There's no point in, taking anything that they do on that stage seriously. And I think whenever Donald Trump kind of got intertwined with the truth community, people started turning a blind eye to some of the weird things that surround Trump, because he kind of riled up the truth community with them thinking that he's going to start going in on the people that's trafficked children, and making people think like, oh, he's, on the people's side for the most part. And I can't say whether he is or he isn't, but to me, I just know what my spiritual eyes are showing me. And it's showing me that he's just another, puppet. He's another cog in the machine. Just like Joe Biden, they're, two sides of the same coin. That's what I keep seeing over and over. Because it had me riled up to the point where I've registered to vote. I have my voter's registration card here. I'm not going to show you the information, but it was, see how I can, it was actually issued on my birthday. You can see like the issue date, 9/28/2020. It's like right there. And on my birthday, I went through a huge rebirth process. I was depressed. I was down. I was really feeling everything that I haven't felt in a long time. So before my birthday, I had registered to vote, because I was like, oh my God, we got to get Trump back in. If we want to keep, the little bit of freedoms that we do have, we have to get Trump, so yeah, I was willing to go vote and do all that. And I've never voted before, because I always knew the truth about the system. Even when Obama was getting into office, I had registered, but then I ended up not voting. So with this one, I kind of felt like this sense of urgency to do it and to vote, because of how dramatic everything is right now. And really, it's no different than any other time in history. We're just being used, our emotions and things, for whatever agenda they have going on. So I'm like, if I'm really going to trust in spirit, turn my life over to this journey that I'm on, this spiritual journey that I'm on. I have to completely be done with this matrix. So today it just came to me that I need to get rid of this voter's registration card. I need to trust in spirit and in the universe and their abilities to provide for me, and that my life is not in the hands of man or this system. Whatever happens is supposed to happen, and there's no way to stop it or to save the world. So I found, because people have to save themselves, and when you start on that truther journey, it's really a self-righteous journey. Like when I was in it, like, all you hear is sheeple, and people are this and people are that don't, believe in the conspiracy or the facts, because a lot of the things they were saying was facts. Like, yeah, there's some conspiracies out there that's outlandish, but a lot of the shit was facts. But, having all that knowledge and knowing all these things do not mean anything if you cannot do anything with it to enhance your life. The only people who are able to profit from the truth community is the people making the videos and putting the information out there. They can then capitalize off of it that way. But for us, that's just listening and taking this all in, is not really doing anything, for us, but giving us anxiety and fears and things like that. So I took a step back recently from looking at, truther videos and conspiracy videos and getting into that frequency, because I really feel like it's a low frequency. And before, I thought that, the truth community was going to save the world. Like, eventually, we would reach the masses. But, the more and more you research, the more you learn about the world, the bigger the world gets. They start to tell us, like, oh, it's a small world. To a degree, but really, it's not as small as people think. It's a lot of people in the world. It's a lot of people to reach in the world. So you might have, 1 million followers, but that's like less than 1% of the world, paying attention and watching. So with that being said, I've decided to put my focus on my journey and progressing spiritually and honing my gifts and sharpening my gifts, and then in turn helping others who are brave enough to go on this journey, help them get to the point where they can start recognizing their gifts and start honing those gifts. But first we have to deal with, the personal traumas and the things that we go through that kind of place fear in us and things like that, and doubt. So I feel like with tarot, I can help other people get through that journey a little bit more smoothly than just going on your own, kind of like cold turkey like I did. I started out, a young mother. Then I had my first daughter. Then that sparked an awakening, and I cut all my hair off because I've never seen my natural hair. So I cut all my hair off when I had my first daughter. And then from the natural hair movement, it turned into like Black history and finding out, a lot of things that happened to Black people in general, the whole entire diaspora. I didn't just study American Black history. I went to the Caribbeans, to South America, to, the Africans, the different countries in Africa and everything. And, just Black people are everywhere. And so I started to look more into the struggle of the whole entire diaspora. And, I learned a lot there. And then it went a step further to learning about the government involvement, and then learning the government, then learning just history. And then once you get there, you start to have all this information, and it starts to give you anxiety. It starts to make you paranoid and things like that. So in my recent times, I kind of backed off on alternative knowledge. I'm still learning spiritual knowledge. I read spiritual books. I like physics and, you know, quantum physics and things like that. So I still look into that stuff, but I just try to stay away from the conspiracy and the emotional side of the Matrix, because I feel like when you get your emotions caught up in the truth community and, you know, those conspiracies and stuff like that, there's something feeding off of those fears and the anxiety, that anger, you know, the frustration. There's something feeding off of all that. So that's why I decided to back up from being a truther and more so into my spiritual side, because while I was doing all the research, you know, spiritual videos would pop up here and there, or, you know, I'll see spiritual books here and there, and I never really read them. I really got heavy into practicing my spirituality about, I want to say like 2 or 3 years ago. When my sister-in-law first showed me my first tarot video, and when, you know, I've never heard somebody articulate my life to me in such a way, it mesmerized me, it caught me, and I felt like this is what I want to do. So falling in love with tarot also made me fall in love with spirituality, and spirituality made me fall in love with myself again. Because I had a lot of anxiety, a lot of regret because of finding out what I birthed a bunch of children into, finding out that it's not what it cracked up to be, the world. And then dealing with that guilt and learning how to let go of that guilt, and to also trust in spirit and trust that my children are protected, and to trust that my ancestors, you know, that I want around are around and protecting me and my children. And that's why I kind of like had to make this video, because I want people to realize that right now souls are being collected on all sides. So it's like you have to kind of pick what side you're on. It's no more riding the fence or being a little bit over here and a little bit over there and a little bit of this and a little bit of that. What 2020 is doing is forcing you to pick the side that you're on. It's judgment, basically making you pick the side, and then whatever side you pick, whatever judgment befalls that group, or whatever choice that you've made, whatever judgment comes with that group, you will suffer that judgment. So that's why I had to make this video, to draw the line in the stand for myself, to say that I'm no longer in the truther community. I'm no longer a truther. I'm Alexis. You know, I choose me. You know, I choose my family. I choose, you know, the collective energy. I choose spirit. You know, I choose source. I choose my ancestors, you know, and I put my faith in that. You know, nobody can take from me what's for me and what my ancestors have for me. Nobody can take from me. No system, no president, no policies. None of that can take my freedom away. Only I can do that if I let fear overcome me. And that was my message today. Do not let the fear start to get in the way of who you are, you know, and what you believe. I feel like this election has captured so many souls that were heading in a different direction. You know, they were heading in the right direction, and then this election happened. It distracted them because they haven't done enough spiritual work. And that's where I was. I did not do enough spiritual work. I was getting sucked into the Trump Biden bullshit, you know, like a lot of other people have. And so I make this video to say I'm not involved in that. I am no longer a truther. I'm Alexis. I'm focusing on helping other people on their journey spiritually and helping myself. And so yeah, I just wanted to make this video. And also, I also seen a lot of people jumping back into Christianity, and I kind of wanted to speak on that a little bit. I feel like a lot of people are jumping back into Christianity because they're seeing their demons. You know, they get into this spiritual stuff. They think it's beautiful and it's pretty and it's, you know, flowy and light. But really, this is heavy, you know, serious work. You know, in order to get to the light, you got to journey through the darkness. And I think a lot of people, you know, came into spirituality thinking love and light, when really it's love, light, hate, dark. It's all that, and learning how to balance those two opposing energies. It's this right here, you know? And it's learning how to balance those opposing energies. And I feel like a lot of people got into spirituality thinking that it was going to be a walk in the park, you know, it's love and light and everything's positive and great. But only then to find out that, you know, you have traumas, you have issues, you have character, you know, defects, and you have flaws and things like that. And a lot of people see themselves and get terrified. And I feel like they're running back to Christianity, because at one point I was terrified, you know, and I almost ran back. But because I know what I know about Christianity, I know the history and I know the frequency that is covered among that organization, I would never go back. I would never go back. But the fear sometimes that comes with being on this journey of getting to know self, and you will experience things, and it's not always going to be love and light. It's going to be some dark, you know, things, because everything is a reflection of ourselves. So if we have things we are dealing with, we have traumas that we haven't dealt with, sometimes those things manifest as dark, heavy things, because they are heavy, because you've neglected them so long that they've become so dense that they are appearing as these entities, when really it's you appearing to yourself to try to get your own attention, because you need to pay attention to your inner self, your, you know, your inner child, or something to do with something you're not dealing with in your life. So that's why I want to help other people on this journey, because it can get discouraging. It could, you know, it can get dark and make you want to run back to all these organized religions, because you could just put all that darkness on the devil, Lucifer, Satan, or whoever that evil entity is in that religion. You could just cast off all your wrongdoings to that being and chalk it up to it being that being. When spirituality makes you take accountability for your actions, whether they're good or bad actions, you have to take accountability. You can't ignore those things, because it's going to come out, because you're opening yourself up. When you get into spirituality, you start using tarot cards, you start using sage, you start messing with crystals, and that's opening you up and opening your third eye to, you know, things you wouldn't see had you kept your eyes closed or not use these tools. You know, it'll be harder to see these flaws within yourself. But whenever you have, you know, you're starting to use these things and you're starting to get on a higher frequency, you're going to notice your eyeballs starting to go inward more so than looking at everybody else's problems. You start to look at yourself like, damn, why did I react in that situation like that? It's really, you get the gift of introspection. And sometimes introspection is not as easy as people would think. And sometimes if you're, you know, any of the clairs, you can experience yourself through that. So I'm clairsentient, so I feel things. And some people are I want to say voyants, the people that see things. So if you're, you know, one of those clairs that can see things, you will actually see dark figures and see, you know, dark energy lurking around you, because there's something within that you're not dealing with. So, yeah, like if you're clear hearing, you might hear voices, or you might hear, you know, dark things, because there's something you're not dealing with. So it's good to meditate, go within, and start dealing with those dark issues that we have. Black candles and a mirror is great for dealing with inner work and shadow work, basically. Get you a black candle, stand in front of a mirror, and ask spirit to reveal some things to you that you're not remembering, or, you know, because your mind will throw things that aren't that were very traumatic to the back of the mind, to where you probably won't remember it as clear, but if you ask, it can be brought forward so you can heal and deal with whatever that trauma is. But yeah, so I've been seeing a lot of people run back to Christianity. I've been seeing people run back into politics that know that politics is a scam, but because of they're playing on your emotions, you're getting back into that fray again. And I saw myself falling back in, and I had to catch myself. And so I wanted to make this video so some of my other people that watch this video, you catch yourself before you get too deep into that world again. Because this is a soul collecting time. You're choosing your side, where you want to be, you know, because after 2020, it's a new world. Really, it's a new world after 2020. This is a transitioning year. So, yes, I wanted to make that video, and tomorrow I will be back with more tarot, and I just wanted to say that to you guys. I wanted to share this moment with you guys of me getting out of the plantation, you know, and realizing that spirit got me, I got me, my ancestors got me. I don't need none of these systems and bureaucrats and all that bullshit. I don't need it, because I know spirit got me, and I got me, and my ancestors got me, and it got you too. So what side you want to be on, you know, after 2020. So I love you guys, and I will see y'all next time.